All right, I'm here at LuxCon with artist Laurie Lee Brom. Thank you for speaking with me.
Thank you. Thank you for being patient with me.
Oh yeah, no, it's fine. Thank you. I'd like to start by asking, is there an artwork here you are most proud of and why?
Here, I think it would have to be the commission that Pat had me do. This is it.
Okay.
And it's going to remain in the IX collection. And I think because of the challenge of it, I really got myself in over my head doing all of this satin and lace and fur, and it was so textural that it took a lot of patience and a lot of me going, what was I thinking?
So this is a witch with a globe and a cat watching?
Yeah, 2 cats.
Oh, there's another cat.
Also, I really enjoyed that. People, eventually they'll see that cat and then I'll be like, is there another?
A third one hiding.
Yeah.
So, how do you know when a work is finished?
If I'm lucky enough not to have a tight deadline, I can step away from it and leave it visible to me in my studio and just live with it a couple of days. If it was, I'm mostly a gallery artist, so I do have deadlines like in that sense of when the show starts. So living with it is how I know. But I could noodle away on, like I could have more background going on in this one if it was staying at home with me. I think I might fall into overkill.
Okay.
So, yeah, but you just know. It's time.
Okay.
But there's always temptation to go back into them too.
Oh, I'm sure there is. I mean, artists are perfectionists, I would think, to a point. So, what inspires you?
I grew up in the 70s, and we had all of these bizarre things like Escape from Witch Mountain and all of these really great creepy Disney thing. It's like this happy world thing, but also creepy at the same time. There was so much of that, and we had like creepy board games that you were supposed to get all your little kitties together and play Ouija or play, the green ghost games and that sort of thing. So I love both beautiful and slightly dark, as well as kitschy and slightly dark. And I'm always trying to rein myself in with the kitsch because I'm not sure. I feel like this is more me because I really love like old master artwork and things that sort of feel more timeless than the kitsch would. So I try to make these timeless, but I'm always trying to reel that back in. So, and I'm inspired by all kinds of spooky things, ghost stories. I grew up in Charleston, South Carolina, where we had ghosts around every corner,
Oh, yeah.
So just that sort of creepy, imaginative stuff really appeals to me. But also old paintings, from miniature portrait paintings like we had in the gallery in Charleston there when I was growing up to just, any sort of portrait painting that's kind of a throwback, that really appeals to me too.
Okay. So what inspired this particular, this painting?
Probably the jacket. I had such a wonderful model named Glass Olive who came over and she posed for us for probably half the afternoon. And when I saw that jacket and I had this skirt that went with it, I was like, we're putting this together. I've got a crystal ball. You are so going to be this like sort of enchantress. I don't know. You wonder like if she's in a castle or who, is she working for somebody? At least I hope you might wonder that sort of thing. And I don't know. And I just wanted to make these cats that might be her minions or somebody's, I don't know, familiar. I don't know. But yeah, that sort of thing always inspires me. Just the creepy romantic.
Yeah.
I'm a goth girl at heart, I guess.
Okay. And what's the name of the piece again, you said?
What's what?
The name of this piece?
Oh, that's a good question. I think Crystal Maiden. Is that
Crystal
her name?
Maiden.
Crystal. I don't remember.
Is that the same model in that painting? Okay.
Yeah.
What's the name of that piece?
Crystal Gazer.
Oh, okay.
I think Brom helped me with this when we sent the image to Pat, actually, to name it. So I don't even remember. I should know that, shouldn't I?
So I see more cats.
Actually, yeah. I have a cat thing.
Oh, okay.
I think I expect to paint more and more cats in my paintings. I don't know. They just are so magical, and they're both goofballs and incredibly elegant, and we never can completely understand them. Mm-hmm. They just really appeal to me.
Oh, I understand. I understand how cats are understandable.
Yeah, aren't they?
So, what is your most important artist tool? Is there something you can't live without in your studio?
Besides canvas and paint and brushes?
Yeah, besides the basic.
The obvious, my maul stick. I have a really nice dual monitor setup thing, which I just love because I paint directly from that. I get the image. I start with just like a figure, and that's all. And so I start from that and go directly to painting with the image up there, so I can do it sort of alla prima style and just not even draw, just start drawing with the paint on the canvas. And so I couldn't do it probably without the monitors. If I was back in the day of having Xeroxes all over the place, it would be so much harder to have, to be able to go at it that way. I hadn't even thought of that before, actually.
Interesting.
So I guess that would be it.
All right.
And my music, how to have music while you paint.
What kind of music?
I like all kinds of stuff. I can be listening to 30s jazz or things like Chelsea Wolfe and Nick Cave. Just like everything in between. I like a lot of music.
Okay.
Big band,
right.
stuff like that. Just lots of different things. Anything with teeth, I think.
Any music with teeth. Got it. Yeah. It really grabs you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there an element of art you enjoy working with most, and why?
I think I'm a portrait artist at heart. Is that what you mean? Like what kind? Like that sort of element?
It's open to interpretation.
Okay. Well, as far as elements that come in my paintings, it would be things like a vintage feel about it, so they feel sort of like you're not sure exactly when it might have been, or, this could have been almost any time except for her. And then I'm also just very much a portrait painter at heart, so as far as that sort of element, it would be the face, the expression that captures emotion.
All right. How did you start making art, and why do you make art?
My brother, who is now a Catholic monk, and I used to sit down. We weren't Catholic, by the way.
Okay.
We used to sit down. He's 15 years older than I am. And we used to draw monsters together. We'd watch like the Munsters and draw monsters.
Okay.
And so I always tell him he's the one who got me started on spooky art in the first place. I still have like this witch I painted with him, and so it was way back when I was kindergarten age, I guess. I started, and I always liked the spooky stuff. It's just weird.
Hey, it's weird. You definitely. So is that so you keep up with it because? Why do you continue on with it?
Let's see. With the spooky stuff or the art?
Just being an artist.
Well, I wasn't an artist for 15 years. I was a mom to our 2 sons, and art completely went on hold. I got to study illustration at Parsons, and I went to a couple of different colleges for art. But I put my career on hold to raise our 2 boys, which I just love love doing. So it was all good. Now I got a whole new life with art.
Okay.
So I started painting again about 7 or 8 years ago now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been amazing. Really fun.
Okay. What role do artists have in society?
You know, I think we like to think of ourselves as important in society, but I think we're mostly entertainment value, to be honest. I don't know. I feel like there's a connection to humanity. I think we do a lot, especially in this field, we do a lot of depicting humanity and that sort of thing. But as far as, I don't know what value we honestly have. We're the keepers of certain things that happen in society. And as soon as, in our current political climate, I immediately, one of my first thoughts was, there's going to be some great art and music because it's going to rile everybody up.
Oh, yeah.
In my personal art, I don't think it's really reflected, though. That sort of, I don't know. Maybe a little shows through, maybe not. A little rebelliousness or something, but...
Okay, something. Okay. What movies, books, or other artwork in science fiction or fantasy have inspired you?
Oh, boy. I don't know if it's possible to even pick one. For me, the fantasy that is most important to me is the fantasy and the ilks of lore. Do you know the podcast and do you know lore? It's really amazing. Well, folklore and that sort of thing.
I think I've heard of it.
What's closest to my heart. But actually, singling out the books would be really tough for me. Yeah.
Is there anything?
I'd need to think about that long and hard. It would probably be classics like Frankenstein and more, the monstery things and the throwback. Most of the literature I read is old. Like, Wuthering Heights is my favorite book, and that was ghosts at the window, and so yeah, I guess it goes way back to that. But that's my kind of thing. So yeah, I would say the classics like Dracula and Frankenstein and ghost stories and that sort of thing is most appealing to me. But of course I go and get all caught up in Game of Thrones and love reading his novels too. So, there's just anything that's imaginative and kind of darkly twisted is appealing.
Okay. Is there an art piece you'd like to create that you haven't done so yet, and what is it?
Oh gosh, there are so many art pieces I want to create. I spent so long just thinking about it, 15 years of thinking about what you want to do but not doing it. Led me to a place where I have tons of ideas that I can't wait to do. There's currently my next step, I think, is going to be incorporating a little more of animals and nature into it, but still keeping it mysterious and fantastical in some way, but adding them in with the figures, like more nature and more animals, because I'm just as passionate about that as I am about imaginative realism. So I think I can figure out a way to kind of mesh them together. Whether that has to do with folklore and that sort of thing, I haven't quite decided, but I think that might be my next series.
Oh, okay.
But I have a lot of ghosts at the window ideas that I want to really bang out this year too, so I don't know, so many ideas, so little time.
I understand, yeah. Okay, well, that's all the questions I have.
Thank you. And thank you for your patience. What are you doing this for anyways?
It's for my for my website. I post various things to do with art and science. And
Great. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Please visit chrisalvarez.com for more cool stuff. That's CRISALVAREZ.com. Thanks for listening, and keep imagining the future.